Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it might be that you're watching, listening, or tuning in, calling in from. How's it going? Let me say good morning to my TikTok community, Facebook, Extraordinary Women Influencers, and those of you on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn. How y'all doing this morning? It's one of those beautiful days, I got to say, because I got to get my mind set on it because it's going to be hot and humid today in Detroit. I don't know what it's like where you are, but it is, summer took such a long time coming. And now that it's here with a vengeance. How's everybody doing? Let me know where you're calling in from. I'm always interested in what the weather be looking like where you are. Um, hey, Dr. Trin, I am so glad you are here. I was telling Karina, uh, my producer who's here with us all the time, Dr. Trin, I was telling her that well, we're not going to have anybody here from LinkedIn because I forgot to send the invites. But I see you coming in to me from YouTube, which I love. Thank you so much because I'm trying to build my YouTube channel. I appreciate you so much joining. It's good to see you. And what's happening in Dallas? What's the weather like there? Good morning, extraordinary women influencers. Hey, Cheryl and Dana, how y'all doing today? So good to see you. Good morning. And hey, Raymond and Charlotte and Red Rum Certified. All right, now, Inner Harmony, Magic Peas, join us. Regina, how's the new gig? How's Ohio? I just talked to some people from Build Institute. I want you to know your old stomping grounds. I think I'm going to join them in August for a workshop. Good to see you. So listen, I got a real what's happening? So let me just up hot in Dallas. Okay. I see it's hot, hot, hot. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. I'm always interested in what's going on with the weather. TikTok, my friends over there, how y'all doing? We're going to talk today about the fog. The fog. The fog that happens when you get in your 50s. And sometimes it happens just when you lighten them 50 birthday candles on that cake and you realize that you've been living half a century. Okay. Well, a lot of things come with that. Um, and one is this fog that I'm going to be talking about today. So if you're in your 50s, I'm sure you're going to know what I'm talking about. And if you're a woman, hey, Felicia, how's it going? I'm sure you're going to know what I'm talking about. If you're not there yet, you will soon if you're a woman. If you're a woman, you're going to know about it. That's right. This fog I'm talking about today. So good to see you, Charm and Felicia. Lorenzo, thanks for joining. Sharon, Tabitha. Um, love you over in Extraordinary Women Influencers, LinkedIn, and my YouTube family. I'm trying to build my YouTube. So if you feel inclined or you feel like it, please go over and check me out on YouTube. And Karina, I think IG is with us too. That is a beautiful thing. Yes. IG, Instagram. How y'all doing? This is just such, well, I'm so excited because this is such an important lesson I want to give today. I want to talk to you all about. And listen, there'll be a time for a short Q&A when I finish, but leave me your comments, your questions. We'll try to get to them. But if you got questions, put them in because if I don't have time to deal with them during this show, I'll do a video on it and answer it that way. How's that? But I wanted to tell you uh, and let you know that there is an epidemic happening among high achieving women over 50, and nobody's talking about it. These women are successful, respected, accomplished, and completely lost about what's next. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Geneva, and I've been there twice, actually. And I've learned something important. The fog isn't a failure, it's a signal. And if you give me just about 15 minutes, I'm going to help you decode that signal. By the end of this video, you won't have all the answers, but you'll finally understand what's been blocking your clarity and where to begin. You'll go from spinning and overthinking to start seeing your next chapter with grounded confidence. And listen, this isn't about reinventing yourself from scratch. It's about remembering who you are and choosing what's next with intention. So before we dive in, I want to ask you three quick questions to see if this message is for you. First, are you feeling that uncomfortable recognition when I say successful but lost? That tension between what your life looks like on paper and how it actually feels? Second, does this one sentence capture where you are? Even smart, successful women can hit a season, a moment where everything feels blurry, off, or directionless, and they don't know why. And third, are you thinking, finally someone gets it right now? So if you answered yes to any of those questions, keep watching. You in the right place. Let me tell you about Pamela. Maybe you'll see yourself in her story. Pamela wakes up early out of habit. Coffee in hand, she sits at her kitchen table, scrolling through her calendar, meetings, appointments, even a yoga class. But none of it feels meaningful. She glances at the open tab on her laptop, another article titled How to Find Your Purpose After 50. She's read at least a dozen of those this month. The ideas sound good in theory, but nothing sticks. She scrolls Facebook and sees a college friend launching a coaching business, someone else writing a book, another just came back from Portugal. Pamela feels that quiet, sharp pang again. They figure it out. On paper, her life looks successful. She's accomplished, respected, and always the one to go to for advice. But lately, she feels like she's just going through the motions. There's a fog she can't shake. And it's not burnout, it's not depression. It's just a strange, unsettling lack of direction. And here's what makes this even more painful. While she's sitting in this fog, watching time slip by, opportunities are passing her by. That coaching business her friend started, 6 months later, it's thriving. The book someone else wrote, it's getting speaking opportunities. Meanwhile, Pamela is just stuck in the same cycle, still searching, still feeling like she's wasting precious time. And this is the first time she's experiencing this unsettledness. She's always been the one who knows where she's going, gets the answers, moves forward when others hesitate. But now Pamela feels confused and uncertain about what she should do now. Sound familiar? Now, here's what Pamela does next. And maybe you've tried this too. Pamela doesn't sit still now. She tries to solve the fog the way she solved everything else, with action. She pulls out a notebook and starts brainstorming. Maybe she'll start a consulting business, maybe go back to school, or maybe write that book. She signs up for a webinar about reinventing your career after 50, but she leaves with more questions than answers. She journals every morning. She buys the new planner. She even cuts her hair, thinking a new look might spark a new feeling. But then the overthinking kicks in. She goes over the same scenarios again and again, analyzing every option until she feels more confused than when she started. The constant mental chatter becomes its own form of fog. She tells a friend, I'm just exploring my options. But deep down, she's embarrassed because she doesn't have a clear answer to the question, what do you want to do next? She's not lazy now. She's not indecisive. She's simply stuck, spinning in reflection without resolution. And the more she tries to think her way out of it, the more overwhelmed it feels. But here's what's happening while she spins. Hear me now. Her network is moving on without her. Okay. Younger colleagues are stepping into roles she could have taken. The energy and excitement she once had for her career is slowly draining away, replaced by this quiet resignation. Now, I know this story intimately because I lived it, not once, but twice. The first time was shortly after I turned 50. I stepped away from running this traditional, well known organization, the United Way, where I'd been successful for years. I took on this new national startup where I had to build everything from scratch. And even though the folks came to me because of my reputation and results to ask me to do this, I was confused about what I was supposed to do. Anxiety was creeping in, and right around the time I started, perimenopause came, which brings its own natural fog. And you know what? That fog at 50, it's not some personal failing. It's almost inevitable when you're a woman living at this stage of life. Think about what's happening to us in our 50s. Our bodies are changing, and we can't control it. Hormones are shifting, affecting our sleep, our energy, our mood. Our roles are shifting too. Maybe you're becoming an empty nest, the kids going off, or suddenly you're caring for mom and dad, or you're dealing with loss of friends and family that you never expected or were prepared for. The identity you spent decades building, it's evolving, whether you wanted to or not. And it has this way of making society, has this way of making women over 50 feel invisible just when we hitting our stride. Mm. So when that fog rolls in, and it will, trust. Understand you're not broken. You're not failing. You're human and you're female, and you've hit a life stage where everything is in transition at once. I was successful for a while with that startup I told you about, reached all the milestones, but I still had that nagging feeling, is this it? Then came the deeper fog. In my late 60s, I finally took the leap to start my own business. 2 months later, my husband got his first cancer diagnosis. Then my parents got sick, and I became a caregiver while trying to get my business off the ground. I didn't know what I was doing. Within a few years, I lost all three of them around the same time, and I went into my deepest fog. Successful on paper, but completely lost, without my purpose or direction. And during those years in the fog, I watched opportunities slip away. I saw other women my age building amazing things while I was just trying to survive and get out of bed every day. The compact effect of staying in this fog was and dealing with it was real. But then I realized something crucial. And here's what no one tells accomplished women like Pamela, like you, like me. The fog isn't lack of ambition, it's an emotional traffic jam. And trying to fix it with more lists and productivity hacks won't work because what's in the way isn't information, it's what's going on underneath. First, a quiet fear that you'll choose wrong and waste your next chapter. When you've been successful for decades, the pressure to make the right choice can be paralyzed. Second, grief about aging, shifting roles, or losing pieces of the identity you worked decades to build. Nobody talks about the mourning of the person you used to be, but it's real and it's necessary. Third, perfectionism that makes everything less than a big next move feel not worth doing. You've achieved so much that starting small feels like you're going back. And this fear of not doing something big enough keeps you frozen instead of moving. Fourth, the exhaustion of always being the strong one with no safe space to say, I don't know what I want anymore. When you're the person who everyone comes to for answers, where do you go with your question? And finally, the silent comparison loop. That's watching others reinvent while wondering if it's too late for you. And social media don't help at all when everyone else seems to have it all figured out, but it ain't true. That's the real fall that's creating these blockers in your mind. Okay? And here's what I've learned. Naming these blockers is the first step towards seeing clearly again. But before I talk about the solution, I need to be honest with you about what happens if you stay in this fog. I've watched too many brilliant women just drift. They stay in jobs that drain them because it feels safer than making a change. They watch their dreams get smaller and smaller until they disappear altogether and they become invisible in their own lives, going through the motion, but their passion is slowly dying. Their networks and connections move on without them. Their confidence erodes as they watch others take the risk they're too afraid to take. And here's the hardest part: time don't wait. That business idea you keep putting off, someone else started it. That book you've been meaning to write, it goes unwritten, or you see it on the internet. That impact you could have made, it never happens. That speaking opportunity, someone else took it, or the board position that you wanted went to someone else less qualified. 5 years from now, you can either look back and say, oh, I'm so glad I got clear and took action, or you can still be sitting in the same fog, wondering what might have been. The cost of inaction isn't just missed opportunities, it's the slow erosion of who you know you were meant to be. But here's the thing: you don't have to wait till you lose everything or feel like it is to find your way through the fog like I did. You can start seeing clearly again right now. When I work with women like Pamela, we don't rush to a solution. We really pause, we reflect, we get curious about the emotional terrain, landscape of this transition, because clarity comes from being honest, not from urgency. The first step is always about changing your narrative, uh, recognizing those limiting beliefs and stories that you've probably internalized. We all do. And then renaming them and reframing them so that you bring forth the strengths that you have in your decades of wisdom. And we identify which specific blockers are creating your fog and the things you're actually grieving about. And then we get clear on what enough looks like for your next chapter, because it doesn't have to be as big as what you were doing before to be meaningful in life. We find different ways to find meaning um, because we're so much smarter and wiser when we're in our 50s and 60s, 70s, and beyond. We really are. And that fall, it begins to lift, and the path forward doesn't feel so overwhelming anymore. In fact, it can feel like the most exciting chapter yet. So, right now, I want you to write down the one sentence that you would respond to if someone asked you, what would you do next? Now, I want you to write down not what you should say, what you really want. Okay. So, what are we going to do now? We're going to write, we're going to pretend someone asked us, what do we want to do next? It's just you and the piece of paper. I want you to write it down. Again, what you really want. Now, that answer that you write down, that's your starting point. Okay? Simple, huh? But powerful. So if you're in this moment of reflection, and what I've been talking about is the fog sounds familiar, I want you to know you're not alone and you're not failing. And if you've been feeling stuck or disconnected or just unsure of what's next, I want you to know you are not broken and you definitely are not too late. You've already lived an incredible first act. Now it's time to design what comes next with clarity, alignment, and joy. And that's exactly why I created this 90-minute workshop for high achieving women who want to find their direction after 50, who really are ready to start doing the work to reclaim their next chapter. So if you're in this moment of reflection and want some help in getting clear, I just want you to know that you, in fact, have a place that you can go. There's a wait list that you can sign, and we've got a QR code and something streaming probably for us. But there's a wait list that will um, give you the opportunity to get perspective, walk away with a fresh perspective, a simple clarity map, and the confidence to take one meaningful step toward what you really want. So, if you want to be the first to grab your spot, it's a wait list. You can get on it right now. The link is right below QR code because this next season, it's not about really proving anything. It's about becoming even more of who you already are. So get on that wait list, and I can't wait to see you there. And I'm so delighted that you have been here for this conversation. I hope it's brought you value. And I want to see if you've got any questions or comments on this topic. Thank you so much for being here and being so listening and attentive. Um, let's see. So we've got some questions. We got one or two questions. Let me say, hey, Chris, how you doing? Good to see you. So good to see you. And Alberta, oh, over on Extraordinary Women Influencers, how you doing? So good. Thank you that you've joined. And I see Marlene and Mother Hiker and Rosemary Brown are here. Thank you for joining us. So if you have any questions or comments, let me know if any of this resonated with you. So let me check our questions. Okay. Um, okay. So we have this question. Uh, Here's a good one. How do I know the difference between being in a fog and just needing rest or a break? Okay. Well, they're one and the same. And I don't think you have to waste your time trying to figure out the difference. Okay. Um, because if you need a rest or a break, you need to give yourself time to relax, recuperate, or you'll go deeper into a fog. And it's interesting because as we're in our 50s and 60s, particularly if we're dealing with perimenopause and menopause, that fog can be part of almost your everyday existence. And so it's a signal to you that your body is changing. You need to take care of your body. And one of the ways to take care of your body is to rest and relax and recuperate. So let's not spend the time in trying to distinguish, well, what is this? It's all of that. Okay, that's number one. Number two, let's remember that there are different ways to rest and relax. For those of you who want to go deep dive on this conversation, I did I had a video, I did a video, intense conversation with Dr. Sandra and Dalton, and it's on my YouTube channel, and it talks about the 7 ways to get rest, because oftentimes when we think about rest, it's the first thing that pops in our mind is physical sleep. And that's an important one, but there are at least 6 other ways that you can rest and rejuvenate your body, like staying connected with people you love. That, in fact, rejuvenates you, helps with your energy and energy management when we're in our 50s, 60s, 70s. That's what it's really about. So please go if you have questions about, well, how do I get the rest? How can I relax? Please go check out that my YouTube channel. I have several self-care videos on there, as well as the one with Dr. Sandra that talks about rest specifically. And again, remember, if any of you want to figure out, well, Dr. Geneva, what you talking about, some good stuff. I want to figure out how can I work with you or what can we do together. You can always sign up for my next steps call. And that's you and me, 1-to-1, 30 minutes. I'll listen to what you're thinking about, what's on your mind. Many people come to me for different things. Some, they want to write a book and they want to know how to get started because I've written books and I'm an author. Or they want to do what I'm doing here, a live stream. How do you do it? And so whatever it is, some want clarity in their life. Some have children have just left the home and what do they do next? Whatever it is, we take 30 minutes to talk it through, and then I can help you figure out what's next, whether I can help you or somebody else can help you. That's my next steps call. And there's a link, a scheduling link for that. I'll make sure I put it in the DM so that you can call me. It'll be attached to this video. I think we have time for one more question. Please put your questions and comments if you have them. I do have some here. So let me go to this next one. Mhm. Someone's asking about the scheduling link. I will link it in the comments. It'll be down below in this description. Okay. So that you can schedule that free. It's free, 30 minutes. So we're not wasting, we're making the best use of your time and my time. And 30 minutes, we'll chat, talk about some things, get to know each other, and figure out how we can work together, if I can help you or somebody else can. Okay. Um, so that'll be in the, let's see. We've got this question: how do I deal with the grief of letting go of an identity that once defined me? That's a good one. And first, um, let me say to you, I really respect and admire that you already have associated that there's grief there. So many of us don't. That when we change roles, when we get into something new, when we, get divorced or become a widow, lose a loved one, when the kids leave home, when we change careers, when we lose our job, when we all that's we've lost. That's loss. LOSS, loss. And with loss comes grieving. And as you know, there are stages of grieving. And so one of the most important things to do is to recognize that, to name it, and to understand it. And that takes away a lot of the um, guilt that we feel because of these emotions, the confusion, etc. We can in fact name it. But once you've named it, then it's about some action. Okay. Now that naming process and reframing and letting go of those limiting beliefs, etc., that's a process, to work through. But we have to understand, and you can do it because you've got the resources within you. You've got everything you need within you. You really do. You have much of it. There might be some skills that you need to acquire, but that's okay because skills are things you learn, so you can do that. But the resources, what you've come through, your resilience, the wisdom, your lived experience, you've got that inside of you. And you can use that to help you reframe, refigure, think about it, name these blocks, and then take the next step, because that's the step we want to move to, and that's actualizing, action, implementing, doing, taking a step or two. And so that's absolutely critical. So, how do you deal with the grief of letting go of an identity that once you defined you? Name it, understand what it is, don't beat yourself up, understand it's natural and normal, and then begin to think about the ways that you can take a step forward. That identity that you once had, what did you love about it? Let's name the strengths and the values and that identity. What did you love about it? What things can you carry forward? But that identity, what it a lot of that is, those are the roles that you played, because you're still you. You're still you. And so remember that as you think about taking this journey. And again, if you need help in this, give me a call. It's free. It's a next steps call. It's free. It's 30 minutes, and we can figure it out together. I'll help you do that. All right. Well, I'm getting the signal that that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining. Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, IG, TikTok, Facebook, Extraordinary Women Influencers. Thank you so much for joining. Please, that workshop that's coming up, I'll tell you, it's in August. I'll have all the details soon, but you want to join the wait list. So if you haven't signed up, there's no obligation. Just sign up for that wait list. And if you do sign up today, sign up, get your early access. I've got a free gift for you if you sign up. So run right over now to the wait list. The link is here. It's on the screen. There's a QR code. The link will be pinned in the comments to this video. just go sign up. You'll want to come to this workshop. It's going to be fabulous. And trust, you'll leave it with more clarity than when you got there, and you'll leave with much more confidence for this workshop. So sign up, get your early access, use the link, and I will see you there. Um, TikTok, you all gonna sign up? Extraordinary Women Influencers. I know there's a link in our group. Please sign up for this workshop. It'll be in August. It's coming up. And just go sign up. Hey, Leslie. Oh my gosh. How you doing, Leslie? So good. And Renee. Oh, so good to see you. Please go on over and sign up for the workshop. And you know how the workshop came about? I asked you all 3 or 4 things. What topics did you want me to talk about? And overwhelmingly, the response was you wanted me to teach on finding direction when you're unsure of what to do in your 50s or in retirement. That came out as the number one thing. So, hey, you responded. I listened. I do. And so that's the workshop I'm doing. It'll be in August. It'll be 90 minutes. It'll be on Zoom. It'll be at 6 o'clock, it'll be in the evening, and you'll get lots of goodies with it. And there'll also be like-minded folk in the workshop with you. So it'll be a community, a safe space. So just go sign up. There's a wait list. We got a QR code, Karina, I think. And we also there's the QR code. You can just do that. Go for my TikTok and Extraordinary Women Influencers. You can either run over to YouTube and see that. In Extraordinary Women Influencers, I put the code and everything in the group. I hope to see you. Sign up for the workshop. Love you all. See you next time.